All right, we're live. Speaking of fashion video podcasters, we have missed you. So I am now going to start the audio version. And hi everyone, welcome to Speaking of Fashion. This is Rachel Yeomans of the Working Wardrobe, and via the Hangout Circle we have
Tanisha Anderson of Clicks Magazine.
And Kate Jacobson, fashion publicist in New York. I forgot what I am. What am I?
New York.
New York.
It's like that line from Jaws when he's trying to talk like a New Yorker, or no. Like, do you remember that beginning scene where Roy Schneider in Jaws was trying to sound like he was from the area, and he kept on failing? It's like, I'm going to park the car in the garage. And he asked his wife, like, how was that? She's like, you sound like you're from New York. Yes, I know. Bring in the movie nerd.
Yes. Next week. That would be me. I would fail miserably.
So we are kicking. So first of all, we apologize, dear listeners, for sort of being on quite a long hiatus. You can completely blame me. It is my fault. But let's just say I was a little busy. Lots of work, lots of stuff. So we are now back. I could be more excited. So we're kicking it off, which actually some really sad news. Like, this was breaking this week. And Tanisha, why don't you take this one since you sent this over?
Very sad news. On Friday, May 16th, last Friday, the revered fashion professor credited for launching the careers of Alexander McQueen, Christopher Kane, B.B. Philo, etc. She passed away in her sleep at the age of 52.
52. 52.
Yeah, they don't know what she passed away of. It's still up in the air, but she was the director of the MA fashion course at London's Central St. Martin's since 1992, where she became infamous for her straight-talking, forthright manner towards her students. One of her quotes that she's known for saying is that she's not rude, she's just honest. She's like, I'm not rude, I'm just honest. I don't have time for networking. And I think that's what a lot of people loved about her, and why she produced so many phenomenal designers that we know and love and wear. In 1997, she left Central St. Martin's, where she herself had studied in the 80s, to become the design director of Donna Karan in New York, before returning to the London College of Fashion, before returning not to the London College of Fashion, I'm sorry, to Central St. Martin's to resume her position as course director of the MA Fashion in 1999. Oh my God, did you hear that thunder?
That was thunder?
That what?
Oh my God. Dude, I am like freaking out. That scared the hell out of me. My little dog. Oh, first time Pierre. He's scared of thunder. He's scared of thunder. Anyway, Professor Louise Wilson passing away. She also, I believe, I forgot what year it was, but she got her OBE, the Order of the British.
Tanisha, in the notes, she received her OBE for services.
She received her OBE for services to fashion and education in 2008. Thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome.
So she's survived by her partner Timmy and her son Tim. So yeah, it's very sad. It's extremely sad because she was like a staple basically at Central St. Martin's. When you go to Central St. Martin's and you're trying to, become a fashion designer, she was just somebody, especially if you went the route of the MA, she was definitely somebody you had to go through in order to finish your MA. So I remember when I went to London College of Communications, which is one of the 6 schools that's under the University of Art. which Central St. Mark's is part of, she was known as one of the top professors of the university. So it's quite sad that she passed away, and it's such a young age. I mean, that's the scary thing. Like, probably it could be from something like of a natural cause, but the scary thing is that, I mean, 52 is young.
That's really young.
52 is really
It's really too
young.
young.
I mean, the only thing you could probably say that I mean, she passed away in her sleep, which I'm hoping was peaceful. But yeah, that's.
And she was visiting her sister in Scotland.
Yeah,
So she was with family.
Yeah, that's the other thing. But that's really sad, because a lot of future designers won't be able to have the experience of being under her tutelage and making themselves better. So rest in peace, Professor Wilson.
Rest in peace. So, speaking of like designers who are going to be lacking in their future inspiration, which is so unbelievably sad. Some other recent news that came in is actually about one designer who apparently is not thinking about the backup plan when he gets a little bit older. So, Kate, tell us about what Armani is up to.
Well, Armani wants to take over his whole world. He announced via WWD on Thursday that he has purchased the remaining 50% that he did not already own of AX Armani Exchange, a venture launched with his licensing partners in 1991. He expressed hopes to turn the brand into a fast fashion line to rival the likes of Zara and Topshop. It will help that AX Armani Exchange already has a large footprint. The brand has some 270 stores worldwide. It helped to note that those 270 doors were much more hip when we were in college.
Like, just remember Armani Exchange? Like, I kind of feel like the cool factor is kind of waned a little bit, or is it just me?
I don't put, like, Armani as a brand, I think he's doing a lot of amazing things, and I think that he's branded himself well in a lot of different, not just in the luxury sector, but he's known for kind of branching out and creating different, like the diffusion line idea, and I think he's done that well, but like, AX Armani Exchange, I've never shopped there, really. I've never, like, followed them as a brand. I've never, like, not saying that what I do is right, but, like, I try to pay attention to what a lot of other brands are doing, and even, I don't shop at Zara, I don't shop at Topshop, but, like, branding-wise, I think they're doing great things as, like, a fast fashion brand, so I think it'll be interesting.
See, I do shop at Zara and Topshop, and yes, they definitely are doing great things branding-wise, but they also are doing great things inventory-wise because it's different. It has that European vibe, whereas Armani Exchange, I felt, has always tried to be the upscale express and limited almost.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting now that he's coming in. He's trying to change that to go more Zara Topshop. That actually could be amazing. Because Zara is much more like sort of the Spanish thing, and Topshop is UK. It'd be cool to have more of like maybe an Italian thing. I don't know. It'll be interesting if he takes over, if we see any difference, or if it's just going to be like too little, too late, buddy.
Yeah, and the fact that how old is he? Like 1,000,000 years old, and he's purchasing. I mean, but seriously, he's so, like, he looks like he might fall over. But like,
he's definitely over 52. Just say that.
No, I'm just kidding. But like after I don't know. It just seems a little. I don't know. It's kind of weird to me.
It's a little bit like, I don't want to say narcissistic, but it's presumptuous. It's like, why can't you find someone who you feel would really take your brand to that next level and grow it? Like I just kind of feel like he might be one of those guys who's like, no, it's only will be successful if I hold on to it. And then it's like, well, dude, what if you die? And then what's going to happen?
Yeah. Well, I know. And is he doing it because he doesn't like how it's performing and or is he seeing what these other brands are doing and is trying to, I just don't know his reasoning behind it. Like, if he's been with these partners since 1991, that's what? 20
A really long time.
And now to all of a sudden just buy, I mean, unless he's just doing so well at this point that he can, I don't know. I mean, it reported an 18.2% increase in operating profits, leaving the company with $924 million in liquid assets.
So the brand is doing well, so it'll be interesting to see, because Armani Exchange is the only one of his brands, right, that targets youth, that targets...
I think so. What is there? I mean, I can't talk highly enough about his Armani Privy. It's just like...
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
Insane. I mean, I can't. But, yeah, no, I think that's... Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes sense that it should be a focus, because right now every brand wants to cater to the millennial. Everyone wants to cater to youth. So
yeah.
It's a smart move if the brand needs a reboot, but I feel like he should have done a reboot by maybe not buying out his partners, but maybe saying, let's
bring it, yeah.
There's someone on. I don't know. We shall see. But one thing that Google is not doing is trying to take over its whole world. Google has brought on longtime fashion executive Ivy Ross to lead the entire Google Glass team. She started yesterday, so congratulations on your first day. So this news is after Google rolled out frame designs and they announced a design partnership with Luxottica. Their brand portfolio includes Ray-Ban and Oliver Peoples. So her resume, Gap, Executive Vice President of Marketing for 3 years. Disney, Chief Creative Officer of the Disney Store for just a year. Ouch. Calvin Klein, President of Men's Accessories. And most recently, she served as the Chief Marketing Officer of Art.com for a little less than 2 years. So talk about a job jumper. Hello. Like, you know, I would totally leave Gap to go to Disney. Like, interesting. So on Google Glass's Google Plus page, she posted she wants to answer 2 questions. Now prepare yourselves, people. This is where it gets deep. Question number 1. Can technology be something that frees us up and keeps us in the moment rather than taking us out of it? And can it help us look up and out at the world around us and the people who share it with us?
What?
Do you feel that?
I can.
Yeah, she'll be there for 6 months.
Well, they've already gone through a lot of people, haven't they? Like, it feels like they're searching for something and they don't really know what they're searching for. I'm talking about Google.
Well, the previous guy they brought on was an engineer, and they tried to bring in someone who knew about fashion. And I'm sorry.
How about this?
No.
How about just search for terminating Google Glass? It's not going to happen. What do they say in Mean Girls? Fetch is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, it seems like
happen. Quit trying to make it
seems like they need to get this whole, like, the technology and, like, the usefulness and all of that down first, and then the fashion element should come later, not both at the same time.
This is my thing. Who the hell wants to be able to control the internet on their glasses? Like, I mean, I don't know. Do you guys have any Google Glass? I mean, have you used it? Have you tried it out? Do you like it?
Weren't you gonna?
Yeah, I've used it, and basically it caused me to run into a wall. I have to admit, it was not one of my prouder moments, but it's sort of distracting. And it doesn't look good.
Can
That's all that needs to be said.
Maybe this makes me sound like old-fashioned, but I feel like our phones have become we've become connected too much to our phones and that glasses too, like it's too much. Like
How about this?
I
I think we've become connected too much.
I
That's just it.
agree. I think
coming
like
from a person who doesn't know how
I
to
think
check
we
her
need to be
email,
this damn
Tanisha.
connected. What did you say, Rach?
Coming from a person who doesn't check her email.
There you go. I don't think we need to be this damn. I mean, like, we are seriously, like, come on. We're so connected to the point where everywhere you go, there's a hashtag somewhere. There's somebody saying, follow me, go to my Facebook page, do this, do this. It's just too much. And then Google Glass. Google Glass, it makes Rachel run into walls.
well,
I
guys, I've been doing a lot of soul searching lately, and I just feel like I need to sometimes disconnect from technology if I really want to enjoy life. I feel like I'm in this Zoolander movie, like where he's trying to figure out what life is really about, and I feel like I'm like Derek Zoolander trying to be like, what is life really about? Do I really want to be this person that has my head in my phone all the time, checking emails, worried about emails from my boss, worried about emails from my client? No one wants that. No one.
I think things should be in moderation, and that includes digital life. I just think everything needs to be in moderation. I think we are too connected.
Well,
and sometimes, and you know what? Sometimes I want to turn off. Sometimes I just want to turn off and not have to worry about the internet and blah.
Like that.
Exactly like that. As I take another drink of my wine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think like the whole trend right now of wearable technology, it's just not. They can't make it fashionable. They have to market it to the tech nerds, like guys like my dad, who wears like practically a calculator on his wrist. Like
I agree.
Like, market that to people in fashion unless it actually starts fashionable. Like that's the only way. Like the fact that they make like that you can make fabric from making it on a computer and printing it out. Like you can make textiles now. That is amazing, and that is where technology can influence fashion. But they're starting with designing the fashion, and then technology is assisting them with the creation and actually putting together something instead of starting with, oh, we're going to put together this cool computer program that can help you print out textiles, but you're only restricted to 3 colors and 4 different patterns, and it has to print via Brother printer in 4-color. Oh yeah. Take that.
Take that.
Take that. So speaking of looking good with tech, there is now tech that shows you how to look good. Kate, tell us more.
Oh, where are we? Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, so here's another freaking...
Another app, another one.
Well, yeah, another virtual app, but it's called Fitbit. And they plan to harness the power of users' online participation to segment users with similar body types and style preferences into small groups. They hope users will offer factual brand and fit information that will be helpful to others with similar dimensions and shopping habits. They hope. Behind the scenes, Fitbit also apparently has an advanced sizing engine that can predict user sizes based on information generated by their body doubles. So, dear body doubles, stay truthful. In the interview with the
who would lie about that?
I started thinking about this as I was like rereading and refreshing on this article because I read it like this weekend, and so I was trying to remember what I had read. And it does seem like this virtual shopping experience slash fitting room experience is something that a lot of people are trying to do, and it's kind of like, I feel like it's becoming so convoluted. Like, there's so many different, and are there any that are really that good? Like, I'm not hearing, I'll read about them in their initial stages, but then you kind of don't hear anything about them afterwards.
Well, you know what? And I want you to read that quote because it is pretty insightful. But the one thing that I noticed from the article is the CEO bluntly stated, like, taking your measurements is confusing and inaccurate. And I'm sorry, coming from a man who started this company, it actually is very easy and incredibly accurate. If you just, like, have a measuring tape and have a diagram here, like, put in your measurements, and then, like, you don't need a body double. You don't need to worry about people being truthful. No, it is very, very easy to take your measurements. It's just people are either self-conscious, don't want to do it, and if they're already hiding behind an app on finding clothes that fit them, they're not the ones that are going to use it because they don't want to see those numbers being put down onto a mobile or a computer screen.
Well, and this is something I'm not a little, like, is it only towards plus size, or that's something?
Oh, I didn't think it was marketed towards plus size. I thought it was for everyone.
Okay. I thought I had read that somewhere. Just because it was also written by the plus size.
That's true.
Editor for Refinery. Because.
But that's why the plus size editor would write about it. It's like,
right.
Oh, you're ashamed to try on tons of clothes. You can do it in the privacy of your own home. So that makes sense. But reading the article, it actually sounded like it's across the board.
Right.
But it could be wrong. Who knows?
I don't know.
So what did the CEO say? Like, this is funny.
He said, and in the interview with it's Christian Wylonis, would you issue a refund in the event that a user purchases a garment that turns out not to fit the way the site claimed it would? At some point, we may decide to do this. Right now, we can't because it would require direct agreements with the web shops that would redirect our users to. We're a community for sharing clothes that fit, which means that everything is based on crowdsourced information. So we can't guarantee 100% accuracy. We have, however, not experienced any problems with false information so far.
Like, really? You can't return the clothes?
I'm just,
Sorry.
I'm going to go back to this. At the end of the day, even though I am not someone who ever has time to shop, I think that there's nothing that can trump that, trying it on in person and then purchasing.
There's nothing about that. There's nothing
try
that
it on at home.
Experience in person.
I agree.
Yeah, but even if you try on the clothes at home and be like, oh, it's a little small or it's a little big, you can return it and get it back in the right size.
It's like the Warby Parker mentality. Look at that company. They are freaking killing it. And it's because, and I understand it's eyewear, but, like, you can order 5 styles and pick which one works the best for you, and then you send back the other styles that don't work, and then you only get charged for the one pair. And they're definitely, like, they're freaking killing it. And all of their glasses, like, I don't even think there's any pairs that are over 150 at this point. And they just opened their second store. Like, they are killing it. So, like, I don't know. I think, and they're definitely a brand that has done, I think, an amazing job with starting on e-commerce and, like, segueing into brick and mortar. They're like the blueprint of what all of them should be like.
Totally. And right now, FitBay, I went on the site, and right now it's only available to request an invitation. So
it's annoying too. Like,
podcast listeners, excuse me, I'm drinking beer and burping. We urge you To request an invitation, I know. It's very classy over here. We urge you to request an invitation and then report back and let us know how your experience goes, because we're a wee bit skeptical on this end. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
So when there is no fitting room needed, what about just adding a shoe? Tanisha, talk about this fun thing that you can do this summer.
Well, talking about a company that does it right. This summer, you can print your Instagrams on a pair of sneakers. So yeah, you need to like upgrade that Instagram app. Not upgrade the app, but like upgrade your photos, make them look a little bit nicer. Adidas is being pretty tight-lipped, but fashionista.com found out that come August, the brand is going to be releasing an iOS and Android app on which shoppers can customize pairs of Instaprint ZX Flux sneakers. An Adidas rep couldn't confirm for us how long the promotion will be available for or what the price point will be, nor could she say how exactly the app will work. Okay, so stay tuned. So yeah, Tanisha and Rachel will have Adidas sneakers sporting their packs. Kate will be having brunch post, and Ryan will have a selfie.
You know me so well. I'll make sure I get one that has like my favorite alcoholic beverage in it as well, like maybe a Bloody Mary, a mimosa.
That's gonna be hot. I wonder how much they're gonna cost though. Like,
yeah, they didn't have any of the pricing information, but it can't be cheap. They're custom shoes.
I think that's freaking cool.
Oh, it's
like
awesome.
printing on leather is not cheap. So
especially if you want the resolution to come out. Like, I don't know about you, like Tanisha, you want Pierre to be very pixelated. And
I want Pierre to be great. Come here, Pierre. You want to go first? Come here. Sit.
Uh-oh, she's getting the dog. He's running away.
He's going to have his first debut.
Hey, Pierre.
Say hi. Say I have a seat at the table. Say hi, everyone.
Oh, my gosh.
Say hi. Okay, come on.
He's super cute on a pair of Adidas sneakers.
That would be hot. If I could find a pair of Adidas sneakers for Pierre.
Oh, my gosh, Tanisha, you should wear them at your wedding.
If they would come out, well, no, I can't because they.
Oh, they don't come out until August. Never mind. You should just move your wedding. It should be all about the Adidas sneakers.
I gotta move my wedding to the Adidas sneakers. Yeah, the Adidas sneaker launch.
Oh my goodness.
Nope, that's cool.
So Kate.
Yeah.
So Kate, tell us what fashion brands are not getting behind.
So, fashion brands aren't getting, well, at TechCrunch Disrupt in New York earlier this month, Yahoo CEO Marissa Mayer justified her decision to acquire Tumblr for $1.1 billion, noting that 58% of Tumblr users engage with sponsored content and 48% reshare it. Those numbers were pretty surprising. Forrester Research recently named Instagram the most effective social media platform for brands to engage consumers, while Tumblr's popularity has waned. According to an L2 report from February, prestige brands that previously used Tumblr have abandoned the platform, while the adoption rate has also slowed. Instagram, on the other hand, is growing by leaps and bounds. 93% of prestige brands are on the platform, up from 63% in July 2013. And they're active. 43% post more than once a day, an average of 5.5 posts a week. As Adweek reports, Instagram advertisements for brands like Michael Kors and Hollister have been remarkably successful. Oh my God, sick. Hollister?
Uh-huh.
Have been remarkably successful since they launched 6 months ago. In fact, the advertisements create a kind of halo effect around the brand's posts overall. On average, organic posts show 60% higher engagement in the 3 days following a promoted post. Pinterest, too, launched promoted pins earlier this week. So what does this mean for Tumblr? The platform is still a favorite for fashion fans, particularly young ones. Per Fashionista, if engagement is as good as Mayer says it is, perhaps it will be able to convince brands to start buying up sponsored posts again. It's so funny because I feel like on our podcast we've talked so much about a lot of these social media platforms because of like the image, with visuals, with like, Instagram and Tumblr, and then with Pinterest, and it's very much a part of the fashion industry. And we've talked so much about how no one can measure, you can't measure like direct sales with Instagram, and how we talked about Tumblr was kind of a way to get around it and do that. And so it's very interesting to me that in this article, and I get it, like I definitely believe in the power of Instagram, but like going back to all like the information in this article, it's very interesting, I think, just to like, I don't know, that brands are still not, or are kind of shying away from Tumblr.
Well, it's interesting because if you look at the fashion industry, there are just so many platforms that are visual now. Like Tumblr was one of the first ones, and that's why all the fashion brands got Tumblr. But then, between Pinterest and Instagram, they really didn't need Tumblr anymore. And the industry that I see a lot on Tumblr are artists and writers, readers, like, it's like different industries that Tumblr allows them to showcase an industry that isn't necessarily visual. Like the artist case doesn't really apply, but I really love all the bookstores and the wine, food. Like you see all these industries where it's like, oh yeah, Tumblr actually is a great platform for you.
Yeah. It's just a matter of those.
Sorry. I feel that it's not really necessarily a problem with the fashion industry being involved with Tumblr, but I think it's shifting demographics, it's shifting industries, just how Instagram and Pinterest or Twitter is, like, people are leaving Facebook who people want to market to, and now all of a sudden they're all on Twitter and Instagram. So, and now Twitter, apparently people are saying that it's like the dead whale, which, by the way, I do not believe in. I don't know. It's just all these platforms shift so much. But I do think that Tumblr is not one of the most popular platforms out there. It's a mix between a blog and a microblog. So I don't know. I don't really know what the future of it is, but I did find the conflicting data to be kind of where my confusion was on that one.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. That's like, I don't know, I see a lot of bloggers post on Tumblr too, because on Tumblr you can be more descriptive, I think, or like, because you don't want to, in an Instagram post, you don't want to put like a whole review of like what your post is going to be about. You kind of just want to like do like a teaser. Yeah.
I feel live event posting, Tumblr would be the best platform for it.
Yeah.
Because it's a mix of, because you can share your Instagrams to Tumblr, you can share your social posts. It seems like I don't know. There are lots of curated platforms that do that, but it seems much more of a mixed media platform versus just photo.
Yes, and I think that that's what brands are missing out on. They're not realizing or capitalizing off of those opportunities, and that's why they've kind of just left it, because they're like focusing on these other, like putting all their eggs into these other baskets rather than just using Tumblr as like the multi, I guess.
It could even be considered like sort of a fancy RSS feed. So,
totally.
like, yeah, because you can post your other blog posts, your photos, your video, your audio. Like, speaking of fashion, we have a Tumblr blog, and it's easy because I can just dump everything in one place, and you add it to the queue, and it just goes boom, boom, boom. Not nearly as complicated as other content management systems on the blog front. Not nearly. But it organizes everything just so people who listen to the podcast, if they want to find everything about the podcast, they go to the Tumblr. They don't go to every individual network. It's just an easy way to kind of funnel everything.
Well, like I said, it just sounds like these brands are missing that point.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, it'll be interesting.
But I don't think
So,
it'll definitely disappear. I think people are
no.
still, you know, I don't know, as much as everyone says Facebook is going to be obsolete and whatever, I don't really believe that 100%.
No, it's not going anywhere. It's just changing.
Totally.
Like,
As
people
it
think
has
that when
to.
demographics change, all of a sudden you die. That's not the case.
Well, like, MySpace is still around. I mean, I don't know if it's like kicking or whatever, but it's like, it's still there.
There.
And like print is still around.
Who?
Print.
Yes, Tanisha.
Totally. Print is still
Around.
You know, I always have to throw in something about print when you guys are talking about digital. That's just me.
I love print. I love it. Give me more of it.
Yes. Done and done. Well, speaking of because the article that you sent, Kate, mentioned the promoted pins on Pinterest. So basically, the promoted pins, yes, they have just launched, and we're betting a win on those, like California Chrome to throw in the Kentucky Derby reference. Oh yes, we went there. So Pinterest said on Thursday that it has raised $200 million in a new round of fundraising at a valuation of $5 billion. Billion with the B. So now Pinterest is joining the ranks of what we call the startup superstar. Its latest fundraising round arrives only 6 months after the social network raised $225 million at a $3.8 billion valuation. So again, only 6 months ago. So all of that told, Pinterest has raised $764 million in 6 rounds of financing. So not only is their funding growing, but so their platform. So they're not just taking the money and doing the same thing. So they're doing the promoted pins, definitely a part of it. They also are building out a search platform that lets users find images based on keywords. So Tanisha, I think you should go on Pinterest and search for the word wedding and see what that brings up.
You know what? That's really crazy.
Oh my God, Tanisha, are you gonna have a Pinterest wedding?
No. And I have a Pinterest account, and I tried when I first got engaged. I even started like a little board or whatever, Pinterest board called Wedding. And literally, you could count on one hand how many pictures I have on there. Because if I have an idea or if I want, I'll go to like actual websites and like look at what they have, as opposed to go to Pinterest like scroll through thousands and freaking thousands of pictures. I'll just go to like some of my favorite websites that constantly upload the same damn pictures that I would have probably found on Pinterest. I don't even go to Pinterest. I know, it's crazy. That's crazy, right? I'm going to have the Pinterest goons coming after me now.
No, don't let it happen. Don't let it take over.
You're good.
I'm going to have the Pinterest goons coming after me.
You know what's so funny? This is gonna sound so bad because I appreciate Pinterest and I don't use it. Maybe I shouldn't admit this. I really don't use Pinterest as much as I should. But I always think of, and I don't mean this as a diss to where I came from, but I always think of all the like Midwestern housewives like sitting on Pinterest all day, and like I just remember when I first got on, like so many people from back home, it would be in my news feed that they were pinning or they were like doing this or that, or people that I followed from back home were always pinning stuff, and I was like, how did I have freaking time for this? I was like, I would never have time for this, and I would just be like, so I always, but I mean, there is something to be said for middle America. I know that that's like the target for all these TV shows that my clients want to be on, like the Today Show and Good Morning America. Man, life is easy in the Midwest. I'm moving back.
You're welcome. Move back, Kate.
I'm moving on Rachel. I'll live on her porch. Is that okay?
I'm a fan of my porch. It's a good porch.
I want to sleep on the red chair.
Yeah,
sleep on the red chair.
Good chair. It's my great grandmother's chair.
I'm kind of obsessed with it. I could live on
Sleep
that.
on the red chair.
I would
Denise just made up a song about it.
I did. Sleeping
Yes.
on the red chair.
But
The
then-
red chair.
But then you'd have to add a line about me living on the red chair.
Yeah.
And Kate is living on the red chair.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think that maybe this is an appropriate point to fit in the commercial that we have for today's segment.
We're
Yes.
taking it back to Instagram. Insta what?
Insta what? So before we move on to Instagram, since we're talking about living on my porch and on my red chair, thought it might be appropriate. So this is a brief commercial break where I want to present the opportunity, speaking of fashion podcast listeners, to if you like what you've been listening to or reading, or you read my tweets, I apologize in advance for all the photos of Fitzgerald, but they'll be on Adidas sneakers very soon. I am a quarterly curator. For those who are not familiar with Quarterly, it is quarterly.co, and you can subscribe or buy one at a time. You can buy a gift. So this gift is completely picked out and organized and sent by me. There are other curators on there, actually Book Riot and Nina Garcia. I subscribe to both of those. There's also Bill Nye the Science Guy. Every curator has a different theme, and the gift that you receive fits into that theme. So my theme for the hashtag RYQ01 quarterly box, booyah, is around all the things you all know. Whoop, whoop. All the things you know I love and talk about consistently, which is fashion, technology, wine, and literature. Those things. So guess what you'll be getting in the gift box? I can't tell you, but what I can tell you is that it's fucking awesome. Just saying. You pay $50, and each box I think right now is at the valuation of like over $80, and there are going to be 5 boxes. 5 that are going to be worth over $400, ladies and gents.
It's like
It's
Christmas.
good shit.
Christmas in June.
Whoop, whoop.
Christmas in June.
June
Yes.
and July.
You have 1 month left to subscribe or buy just the first box. You don't have to subscribe. There's no obligation, but you can just buy the first box. So I wanted to share this. I've been sharing it on the Working Wardrobe and on my social networks, but this is a really, really, really big deal to me, and I'm really, really excited because, oh my God, I'm on the same site as Nina Garcia and Bill Nye the Science Guy. Woo! So before you sign on, yes, it is quarterly.co. Just look for Rachel Yeomans, but there are, so I mentioned, like, there are different ways to subscribe to the box. You go to my landing page, you search for my name, and you click on subscribe. If you do that and you just want to try the first box, just so you know that you will receive an email. Your credit card will not be charged until you receive an email saying the box is ready to ship and we're going to charge your credit card. As soon as you receive that email and you decide you just want the box, that is a point where you can unsubscribe but still get the first box. If you unsubscribe before you get that email, you will not get the first box. That is very, very, very important. So just so you know, I've tweeted out a few times. So FYI, that is my little commercial. So tell people, even if you don't buy it, please share it. I'm really excited about it. Like Tanisha was saying, like my hometown in Ripon, Wisconsin wrote a really nice news article about it. It was really flattering. So, end of the commercial. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I really wouldn't be here without everyone's support. So, now let's talk about Instagram and Polaroid to attest to, even though that's not really...
I don't know how I can follow up with that. Like, about the quarterly thing. Now this is like such a letdown to that.
I'm
But
sorry.
an app called Reissued launched on Thursday as a platform for secondhand stores and small makers to sell everything from home goods to floral dresses to dream catchers. I want one of those. The important part here is that Reissued is mobile first with a scrolling feed that lets users heart Heart.
Heart.
Comment on products. The app feels a lot like Instagram, plus a few extra bells and whistles for making purchases and flipping through related products. Users follow sellers like they search by users follow sellers that they like, or they search by product or hashtag. Love that they pointed this out. How many items, have we all purchased on Shopbop's mobile site or via Amazon while on the train?
Guilty.
Fashionista also remarked on the consumerism trend. Americana and conscious consumerism are trending. See the launch of e-commerce sites like Zadie and Kuyana. And secondhand marketplaces are hitting it big in the startup world. Just a week ago, the consignment startup The Real Real raised $20 million in venture capital funding to keep growing its platform, which focuses on gently used and specialist authenticated designer wares. App downloaded, and yes, it's already dangerous. I know, and I love vintage. I love, I think it's cool, and it opens something up to these retailers that might not, have already had those sorts of avenues to.
Yeah, it's like a I don't know, a mobile-friendly upscale Etsy-ish.
Yeah, and this app has gotten tons of press because I've been reading about them on like every fashion website.
Yeah, well, they do good PR.
They do good PR.
Do they need someone?
Kate's like,
I would totally be all about that. If they saw my house, they would be like, hired.
Well, if they saw Tanisha's closet.
All I have is vintage. I have a closet full of nothing but tons of vintage.
What's really funny right there, Tanisha, like, you look like so dark and like so like serious. All I have is vintage. And it's like
all I have is vintage. All I have is vintage.
Wow. It was like a mix between Godzilla and the Matrix or something.
I was just doing all that,
Doing all that. Well, speaking of horror,
I think this is a cool app.
Would you download it? This is the ultimate.
I haven't downloaded it yet. It definitely is on the upscale side of vintage and thrift shopping. I definitely can see that. But it's cool because it's there's an issue going on with Americans and our consumption of clothing in particular, and how we consume so much of it, and how though fast fashion is great, fast fashion is also a curse. And I just like when things like this comes out where it repurposes stuff and, it really puts a spotlight on vintage and the thrifting markets and the flea markets. Because I am a huge, like every weekend I go, there's never a weekend I am not either at a flea market, a thrift store, or a vintage store. I go every weekend.
Flea markets are
everything.
One of my favorite things about New York, like Brooklyn Flea.
Love it.
Yeah.
I used to live in flea markets when I was in New York. Like I'd go to the Brooklyn Flea Market, I'd go to Hell's Kitchen Flea Market. Like I would just immerse myself in frickin' flea market.
I know. You don't even have to buy anything, and you still have an experience every time you go.
The thing that I like about flea markets is that, and even like thrift stores or vintage stores, you meet so many quirky and kooky people. Like you meet people that you would not normally meet if you just walk outside your door or go to work or something like that. Like I've met so many different types of people at flea markets and at thrift stores, and even Craigslisting. Yes, I do that. I Craigslist. And when you go and you buy something from somebody and then you're talking to them as you're swapping, money with product, and then you find out the person is an author or they were part of NASA or some shit like that. It's just it's amazing. I love doing stuff like that. I really really do. I really really do.
Whoop.
So kudos to you.
So that is the app for you.
Yes, it is.
However, Tanisha, what we discovered before this podcast started is maybe what really wasn't for you is the Cannes Film Festival Fashion Roundup.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? I have a question.
Even else you will not want to bother because none of us watched it. Kate, did you watch it?
Well, it's ongoing.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's still going on.
Yeah, it's still going on. It's like for a week, I think, or so, maybe even longer. So it's just been, depending on the premiere and what famous person is in what movie or attending a premiere, depends on. It's been some good fashion. I've been following.
Well, I really liked the one, like the main photo of the oh gosh, I'm going to butcher her name. The actress Zhang Zi. That
Oh, the Asian one in that very geometrical top.
Yeah,
or no?
very geometrical, like black patent.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was like this awesome, like it almost looked like plastic, but just so chic because there wasn't too much of it on top, and then it was like this gorgeous white draped.
Yeah.
Skirt under is just beautiful.
I'm not a huge Blake Lively fan, but she has been killing it on the red carpet.
Dude, has she? I mean, she really has. I am like, it almost at one point, when I saw her, I'm going to give you an example. When I saw her for the Met Gala, the dress she wore for the Met Gala,
Yeah.
I almost questioned my sexuality. Jesus.
You looked fierce.
I was just like, stop it.
Yeah. Everything was on
I
point.
was looking at her because I was looking at her like a dude looks at her. I was like, oh my, oh, gee, no, stop. Stop. I was like, stop it, because you're seriously. I don't know who's dressing you, but you're killing it. You're making it happen.
Yeah, no, she's been fierce. Obviously, like, I love Nicole Kidman, and I thought she looked gorgeous for Grace of Monaco. Kate Blanchett always looks.
Always.
I can't with her. She's too perfect. It's like rude, but she looks amazing. Everything she's worn has been gorgeous. Those are I mean, like, there's been other people that have worn like one good dress or whatever, but. So.
Yeah.
I'm like literally like I'm just like Jesus, Blake, like this is not what I saw in Gossip Girl. Oh, how years do pass, like what the hell? Like she's really stepped up her dress game.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm really not a huge fan. But I'm a fan of what she's been wearing the last couple of weeks.
Well done. Well done. Okay, are we ready for our last bit of news for our recently come back Speaking of Fashion episode?
Yes.
Okay, this one, this fashion event, let's just say it's a quote, to die for. On this week's episode of Under the Influence, and if you do not listen to Under the Influence, podcast by Terry O'Reilly, subscribe to it now. It's just phenomenal. But what's interesting is this week he talked about marketing death, as in dying as an angle for marketers. Let that sink in a little bit. Now, this is the fashion part of it. There's a company called Garments for the Grave, and it markets clothing for the dead. And founder Pia Interlandi realized the clothes we wear in life are poorly designed for death. The dead don't need zippers, buttons, or shoes. And most of all, they don't need durability. So Interlandi designs hemp and organic cotton shrouds, silk blends for veils, cotton lace for decoration. And ecologically speaking, none of the creations are meant to last. So my mother said that when she dies, she wants to be buried with a casket where the only thing people see are her shoes. So she might not be the best market for it, but let's just say I was making all these faces on the train when I was listening to this on my commute and being like, whoa, whoa, they went there.
Wow.
That's morbid.
I had to include it in the podcast because I'm like, I have never heard of this fashion angle ever.
That's
just doing too much. You're just doing too much. You're the most right now. It's just, I can't even process that.
No, I had to I like rewound that area of the podcast. I'm like, what? Are you serious? So yeah, ending it on that happily morbid note, but hey, you get all kinds of crazy fashion news on the Speaking of Fashion podcast, especially, what? Yeah, what? So that wraps up our episode for the week. So thank you everyone so much for listening. You can download the podcast on iTunes. You can listen to us on soundcloud.com/speakingoffashion. I'll upload the transcript and video. The video's on YouTube under the Working Wardrobe YouTube channel. But everything is funneled, as we said earlier, under speakingoffashionpodcast.tumblr.com. So you can find everything there. So Kate, Miss Yanni Face, how can people find you?
I have to be yoga ready by 6 a.m. tomorrow, guys.
Yoga ready?
Find me. Other than finding me on WPIX 11 tomorrow in white doing yoga.
Wait, you have to wear white while you're doing yoga? Speaking of fashion faux pas.
Right? Because it is before Labor Day. Anyway, you can find me on Instagram at Design Diction, and same goes for Twitter, and search me, Kate Jacobson, SEN, on Facebook.
Woohoo! Tanisha, how can people find you online if they thought you would actually respond?
Well, you could find me, I am on Instagram, Tanders76. I'm also on Facebook, Tanisha Anderson. I am on Twitter when I feel like it, at Publishing Beat. So, yeah.
If you ever receive a response on Twitter from Tanisha, that's a big deal. So I challenge you to tweet at her and see if she replies back, because that's
really huge, because I don't respond to Jack a lot of times. I don't. It could be like a couple of days will go by and I'll respond to something that I've seen. Like, oh, I was brought in on this tweet. Okay. LOL.
okay. We love you anyway. So you can follow me, Rachel Yeomans. Anything The Working Wardrobe is theworkingwardrobe.com, and my personal Twitter account is twitter.com/Rachel Yeomans, and the hashtag for Speaking of Fashion is #SpeakingOfFashion. Very easy to remember. So thank you guys so much for listening, for your patience while we
quarterly box.
Yes, buy my quarterly box. I promise.
Quarterly.
It's so good, and I can tell you that both Kate and Tanisha have been super hands-on involved with the creation of the box, and let me just say, if you know Tanisha and what she does with print, you will love this box. Mm-hmm. We're just going to do this. So thank you, everyone.
I'll never drink like this again.
We're going to have another beverage, so let's fill her up. And listeners, thank you again so much, and we will chat with you very, very soon. All right, talk to you later, guys. Bye.
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 Bye.